What if your singleness wasn't rejection, but a divine revelation? What if the silence you feel in this season is actually heaven's loudest confirmation that you're not ordinary? You've been praying, crying in secret, looking around and asking, why am I still alone? Why does love seem so close for others and yet so distant for me? Your heart feels ready, but the door stays closed, and deep down, you're starting to wonder if God has forgotten you. But what if I told you that this weight, this silence, this loneliness is not punishment? It's preparation. You're not hidden because you're unwanted. You're hidden because you're set apart. In this video, I will take you deep, beyond the surface, beyond cliches. You're going to discover 5 spiritual truths that explain exactly why God has kept you single for this long. And by the end, you won't see your singleness the same way ever again. You'll feel empowered, aligned, and maybe for the first time, at peace. So if you're ready, hit that like button right now, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment 99 in the chat, because biblically, 99 were left for the one that was chosen. And if you're here, it's because you are that one. Now take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see your entire life. Shall we begin? You've asked, why me? Why does it feel like everyone else is being chosen, matched, married, and I'm still waiting? Here's the answer: because you are not just anyone. You are chosen, and chosen ones are hidden. They are refined in silence. They are kept in the shadows until the appointed time. See, when God places a rare oil inside of you, He cannot expose you to just anyone. Not everyone is qualified to handle what you carry. Not everyone is anointed to walk beside destiny. God is not just preparing a relationship, He's preparing a covenant. That's why the delay is not about rejection. It's about divine alignment. Let me be clear. God will not connect you with someone who would distract you from your calling. He won't allow your future to be entangled with someone who would dim your fire or mute your voice. You are called to influence. You are called to spiritual legacy. And legacy cannot be built with the wrong foundation. This is why some doors had to close, some texts had to go unanswered, some people had to walk away, because your life is not random. It's sacred. And sacred things are set apart. God is not being slow, He's being protective. He's guarding you like a treasure. Because what's coming for you is not normal, it's divine. So don't compare your timeline to theirs. You were never meant to blend in. You're not delayed. You're being distilled, and just when it feels like heaven has gone silent, that's often the moment God begins moving the most. But here's the part no one tells you. The longer the wait, the greater the weight of what's coming. And right now, in the unseen, something or someone is being positioned for you. But before I tell you what's being aligned behind the scenes, you need to understand one more thing, something that might shake everything you thought you knew about this season of silence. Are you still with me? Because what's next might explain everything. Let me ask you something. If God brought you the one right now, would you truly be ready? Not just emotionally, but spiritually, mentally, purposefully. You see, singleness isn't a punishment, it's a process. And not just any process, it's a divine development season. What feels like isolation is actually heaven's intensive training ground. God is not just watching your heart, He's forming it, breaking it where it's fragile, strengthening it where it wavers, teaching it how to love without losing itself. Because here's a truth many ignore. Marriage doesn't heal brokenness, it magnifies it. If you enter a relationship trying to fill a void, you won't find fulfillment. You'll find dependency, and dependency turns affection into addiction. So what does God do? he delays the connection. To develop the foundation, he wants you to walk into love, not clinging, not bleeding, but anchored. He wants you whole, secure in him. So your identity isn't wrapped around someone else's attention, but rooted in eternal truth. Listen closely. The longer you stay in this divine workshop, the more refined your character becomes. Not just attractive on the outside, but unshakable on the inside. Because the person you're praying for also needs someone who's been through the fire. And that's what this season is. The fire of patience, the fire of healing, the fire of surrender. You're not being overlooked, you're being overhauled. Because what God is building in you must be strong enough to carry what's coming. Now here's where it gets deeper. What if the delay isn't just about you? What if it's about them too? Someone out there is being shaped by the same God. Someone who's fighting their own demons, breaking their own patterns, healing from their own wounds. So that when your paths finally cross, it won't be two half-souls colliding. It'll be two warriors of purpose, walking as one. But before that moment comes, there's still something else God needs to deal with in you. Something hidden, something subtle, something that's been quietly sabotaging your readiness for years. Do you want to know what it is? Then stay with me. Because the next truth might be the hardest to hear, but the one that could set you free forever. Let's be real. Not every smile is sincere. Not every connection is sacred. And not every blessing is from God. Some things that look like destiny are actually disguises. Because before heaven sends the real thing, hell often sends a replica. And if you're not spiritually anchored, you might call something confirmation when it's actually a counterfeit. This is why God has kept you hidden. Why the doors didn't open. Why the feelings weren't mutual. Why that connection, that felt so right, suddenly shattered. You didn't miss your blessing. You escaped a trap. Because here's what the enemy knows. If he can't destroy you with isolation, he'll try to destroy you with infatuation. He'll send someone with the right words but the wrong spirit. Someone who feeds your emotions but starves your soul. And the scariest part? Toxic doesn't always look toxic at first. It looks exciting. It feels validating. It mimics love, while quietly eroding your purpose. That's why God steps in. That's why he delays. That's why he lets things fall apart, even when you begged him to let them work. Because protection doesn't always look like peace. Sometimes it looks like rejection, confusion, or sudden distance. But behind it all, there was a divine hand saying, no, not this one, not for you. And maybe, just maybe, that unanswered prayer was the loudest, I love you, heaven could ever whisper. Because God would rather you weep for a moment in loneliness than bleed for a lifetime in the wrong relationship. He would rather break your heart now than watch it be slowly dismantled by someone not anointed to love you. So if you're still single, it's not because you're unlovable, but because you're too valuable to be mishandled. You're not being punished. You're being preserved. And when the real promise comes, you'll understand why God had to close every door before it. But there's still something deeper, something that many never realize. What if the greatest danger wasn't the wrong person, but the wrong version of you being in a relationship? What if God isn't just protecting you from them, but also from the version of yourself that would settle for less? Let that sink in, and stay with me, because in the next revelation, we're going to confront the one thing that might be delaying your connection with destiny more than anything else. You ready? Let me speak this over you. Your singleness is not a waiting room. It's a launch pad. This isn't a pause in your story. It's the very place God is building your purpose. You keep asking, where is my person? But God is asking, where is your mission? Before Adam ever met Eve, he was walking with God. He had an assignment. He had identity. He had dominion over the garden. Because real love doesn't show up to complete you. It shows up to partner with your calling. And that's why God has kept you here. He doesn't want you entering a relationship with questions like, who am I? What do I want? What am I even called to do? He wants those questions settled, solidified in His presence, so that when someone does arrive, they're not filling your emptiness. They're aligning with your destiny. This season is sacred. God is trying to reveal you to you. He's awakening the gifts in you. He's drawing out the fire. He's breaking the need for approval and igniting the courage to walk in who you really are. Because if you don't know your purpose, you'll settle for companionship over calling, comfort over conviction, attention over alignment. And God loves you too much to let that happen. That's why it feels like He's pushing you, stretching you, calling you into uncomfortable places. He's not trying to frustrate you. He's trying to activate you. And here's a divine key. When you start walking in your purpose, you naturally step into the path of your promise, because your person won't be found in the crowd. They'll be found on the same road as your calling, two people, same mission, same flame, same direction. That's how heaven aligns love. So instead of praying, God, send them to me, maybe the real prayer is, God, send me to my assignment. Because when you move in purpose, divine encounters are inevitable. Now here's the shift. What if everything you're waiting for and the love, the connection, the favor is already waiting for you too, but it's standing at the place of your obedience? Could it be that your delay is tied not to God's silence, but to your reluctance to move? Because when purpose and obedience collide, everything changes. And in the next revelation, you'll discover why your love story was never meant to be ordinary, and why the weight of your wait is about to become the witness of your glory. Stay with me. You think you're just waiting for a relationship, but God is crafting a revelation. He's not giving you just any love story. He's writing a testimony, one that will echo through time, pointing back to His glory. He's forming something rare, something pure, something that hell won't be able to counterfeit and the world won't be able to ignore, because when God authors love, it doesn't just make you feel whole, it makes heaven visible. Yes, you've waited, and yes, it's been long. But nothing forged in faith ever returns empty. Every tear you've cried has been bottled. Every lonely night has been witnessed. Every unanswered prayer has been woven into the tapestry of a greater glory. God's delay isn't denial, it's divine design. Because what He's preparing for you isn't fast food love. It's a covenant feast. And when it comes, your union won't just be a photo on a wall. It'll be a mirror of Christ and the church, a love that sacrifices, that prays, that forgives, that builds altars, not just homes. Your marriage will preach. Your faithfulness will prophesy. Your story will break chains for others still waiting in silence. Why? Because when God moves, He doesn't just bless you. He turns your breakthrough into a blueprint for generations. That's why the enemy fought you so hard. He wasn't just trying to delay your romance. He was trying to cancel your legacy. But he failed because God is still writing. And this next chapter, it's not just about love. It's about eternal impact. So hold your head high. Keep your spirit steady. Because what's coming to you is not common. It's consecrated. And very soon. When the world asks, how did this happen? You'll smile and say, only God could have done this. But before the promise appears, before the doors swing open, God wants to whisper one final truth to your heart. A truth that will anchor you, empower you, and carry you through the final stretch of the wait. Are you ready to receive it? Because the conclusion is where everything will make sense. Listen to me carefully. You are not just waiting for love. You are being forged for a mission of love. This is not a delay. It's a divine strategy. Heaven is shaping you in the shadows, because what's coming will require a warrior spirit, a healed heart, and a soul aligned with purpose. Don't you dare let loneliness lie to you. Don't let silence convince you that God forgot. He has seen every tear. He has heard every prayer, and He is moving in ways you can't yet see. God is not late, He's intentional, and when the time comes, He won't just bring you someone to love, He'll bring someone to build the kingdom with. This is bigger than romance. This is legacy. This is impact. This is the unfolding of destiny. So keep the fire burning, guard your purity, strengthen your faith, and above all, stay in position, stay in alignment, stay in the secret place. Because when the trumpet of heaven sounds and the gates of your next season swing open, it will be sudden, supernatural, and undeniably God. And on that day you'll realize every second of the wait was worth it. So speak this with me in the comments as a declaration of faith. I'm not waiting, I'm becoming who God needs me to be. Say it boldly, say it prophetically, and share this with someone who's still holding on in the dark, because your love story won't just be beautiful. It will be glorious, holy, and unforgettable. This is your moment. This is your awakening. This is your divine preparation. He's not withholding, He's preparing. And when He moves, nothing will be able to stop what He's about to release. Get ready.